We're continuing with 170 Chinese poems, and these poems here are attributed to Min Shen. We kind of like this guy. He's kind of an old classic. Anyways, uh, poem 4 of the 17. We're looking at Gutenberg document 170 Chinese poems. It's 17 old poems, and number 4, translated by Arthur Waley. Of this day's glorious feast and revel, the pleasure and delight are difficult to describe. Plucking the lute, they send forth lingering sounds. The new melodies in beauty reach the divine. Skillful singers intone the high words. Those who knew the tune heard the trueness of their singing. We sat there each with the same desire, and like thoughts by each unexpressed. Man in the world, lodging for a single lifetime, passes suddenly like dust borne on the wind. And let us hurry out with high steps and be the first to reach the highways and fords, rather than stay at home, wretched and poor for long years, plunged in sordid grief. Nice. Poem 5. In the northwest there is a high house, its top level with the floating clouds. Embroidered curtains thinly screen its windows. Its storied tower is built on 3 steps. From above there comes a noise of playing and singing, the tune sounding. Oh, how sad! Who can it be playing so sad a tune? Surely it must be Chen Ling's wife, who had no father, no husband, no child. The tranquil D follows the winds rising. The middle A lingers indecisive. To each note 2 or 3 sobs. Her high will, conquered by overwhelming grief, she does not regret that she is left so sad, but minds that so few can understand her song. She wants to become those 2 wild geese that with beating wings rise high aloof. 6. Crossing the river, I pluck hibiscus flowers. In the orchid swamps are many fragrant herbs. I gather them, but who shall I send them to? My love is living in lands far away. I turn and look towards my own country. The long road stretches on forever. The same heart, yet a different dwelling. Always fretting till we are grown old. 7. The bright moon illuminates the night prospect. The house cricket chirrups on the eastern wall. The handle of the pole star points to the beginning of winter. The host of stars is scattered over the sky. The white dew wets the moor grasses with sudden swiftness. The times and seasons change. The autumn cicada sings among the trees. The swallows, alas, whither as are they gone? Once I had a same house friend. He took flight and rose high away. He did not remember how once we went hand in hand, but left me like footsteps behind, one in the dust. In the south is the winnowing fan and the pole star in the north, and the herd boy whose ox has never borne the yoke, a friend who is not firm as a great rock and is of no profit and idly bears the name. The herd boy who is only figuratively speaking heard by is like a friend who is no real friend. Poem 8. In the courtyard there grows a strange tree. Its green leaves ooze with a fragrant moisture. Holding the branch, I cut a flower from the tree, meaning to send it away to the person I love. Its sweet smell fills my sleeves and lap. The road is long, how shall I get it there? Such a thing is not fine enough to send, but it may remind him of the time that has passed since he left. In other words, supposing he went away in the autumn, remind him that spring has come. Poem 9. Far away twinkles the herd boy star. Brightly shines the lady of the Han River. Slender, slender, she plies her white fingers. Click, click go the wheels of her spinning loom. At the end of the day, she has not finished her task. Her bitter tears fall like streaming rain. The Han River runs shallow and clear. Set between them, how short a space. But the river water will not let them pass, gazing at each other, but never able to speak. Turning my chariot, I yoke my horses and go on and on down the long roads. The autumn winds shake the 100 grasses on every side, how desolate and bare. The things I meet are all new things. Their strangeness hastens the coming of old age. Prosperity and decay each have their season. Success is bitter when it is slow in coming. Man's life is not metal or stone. He cannot far prolong the days of his fate. Suddenly he follows in the way of things that change. Fame is the only treasure that endures. It is. Poem 11. The eastern castle stands tall and high. Far and wide stretch the towers that guard it. The whirling wind uprises and shakes the earth. The autumn grasses grow thick and green. The 4 seasons alternate without pause. The year's end hurries swiftly by. The bird of the morning wind is stricken with sorrow. The frail cicada suffers and is hard-pressed. Free and clear, let us loosen the bonds of our hearts. Why should we go on always restraining and binding? In Yen and Chao are many fair ladies, beautiful people with faces like jade. Their clothes are made all of silk gaze. They stand at the door practicing tranquil lays. The echo of their singing, how sad it sounds. By the pitch of the song, one knows the stops have been tightened. To hear their minds, they arrange their shawls and belts. To ease their minds, they arrange their shawls and belts, lowering their song a little while they pause. I should like to be those 2 flying swallows who are carrying clay to nest in the eaves of your house.
Amazing. Too much sadness in the Chinese.
Sad. Sad cells, I guess.
They'd rather be those little birds that prepare their nest.
The birds?
They'd rather be the birds who prepare their nest. That's what he said.
He wants to be a swallow.
Those swallows who carry mud to make a nest. That's why they carry mud.
Yeah. All right. Poem 12. I drive my chariot up to the eastern gate. From afar I see the graveyard north of the wall. The white aspens, how they murmur, murmur, and pines and cypresses flank the broad paths. Beneath lie men who died long ago. Black, black is the long night that holds them. Deep down beneath the yellow springs, thousands of years they lie without waking. In immediate succession, light and darkness shift, and years vanish like the morning dew. Man's life is like a sojourning. His longevity lacks the firmness of stone and metal. Wherever it has been that mourners in their turn were mourned, saint and sage all alike are trapped, seeking by food to obtain immortality. They were seeking to eat health food back then. They were foodies. They wanted to eat their way into longevity. So saint and sage all alike are trapped, seeking by food to obtain immortality. Many have been the dupe of strange drugs. Better far to drink good wine and clothe our bodies in robes of satin and silk. He says, forget about the pharmaceuticals. He says, many have been the dupe of strange drugs.
When were these poems written?
This is old. It's around, it's almost BC. Maybe 100 BC. Let's see. So nothing much has changed. Here we have 1st century BC, Mian Sheng, Meisheng. And of course, he's the guy who had an enormous influence on subsequent poetry. Many of the habitual cliches of Chinese verse are taken from him. So he's a classics guy. I like that poem.
Mm-hmm.
That shows that nothing much has changed.
Maybe you should post it.
We will post it. Yeah, that's poem 12. Poem 12 of the 17 poems. Reading from 170 Chinese poems from Gutenberg.org with Arthur Waley. From the 1st century BC. Oh, goodness. Actually, it continues here. The dead are gone, and with them we cannot converse. The living are here, and ought to have our love. He says, love the living. Forget about the dead people.
Certainly. The Chinese are very, you see, the Chinese are very devoted to their ancestors.
Why are they devoted to the dead? Living are here and ought to have our love.
Yeah, the living is the love.
Leaving the city gate, I look ahead and see before me many mounds and tombs, and old graves are plowed up into fields. The pines and cypresses are hewn for timber. With the white aspens sad wings sing.
You see, it's easier for people to leave the dead because they don't ask anything from them.
Yeah.
They don't fight back, they don't argue.
They're long.
So
yeah.
There's no defense in a way, but the living, they're tough.
He says, their long murmuring kills my heart with grief. I want to go home, to ride to my village gate. I want to go back, but there's no road back. There's no road back.
You continue the same poem.
Yeah, that's the end of poem 12. That started as I drive my chariot up to the eastern gate. We're reading from 170 Chinese poems, translated by Arthur Waley, W-A-L-E-Y, from Gutenberg.org, and that was the 1st century BC, Mian Shen. We'll have to continue. Very good.